back to my channel. For all of you who have never been here before, I'm Madison. I hope y'all are having a great day today, or month, or it's August, isn't it? And that brings me right into this video. Today I'm going to be doing a video where I'm not quite sure how many I have listed out, but these are things I would have told myself going into my first year of high school. Just a forewarning, this advice is not going to be for everyone. I knew at a very young age that I was going to be an entrepreneur in one way or another. Networking, charisma, social skills. I guess networking and charisma are both social skills. That all falls under being an entrepreneur because you need a network, you need to be shaking hands with people, and like, you're doing business. High school, you're kind of doing business as well. One thing that does come with charisma, you could be the funniest person in the world, but if you don't have it together and you do things, you could be the weirdo. But if you have it together and you do those same things,
oh my gosh, she's so funny, dude. She just did the craziest thing. Like,
I've learned it. I don't know if y'all know my other little career, but I make crawfish and I do the weirdest stuff, and I can get away with it much more than I could years ago because I've worked on myself. The first thing I would have told myself freshman year, I would have said, here, Madison, spray tan. You're gonna need it. I am a pale individual. This one doesn't apply to everyone because some of you girls, y'all tan like that, y'all are glowing, or y'all already have a lot of melanin, period. Yeah, I wish that was me because I was pale and pasty my whole life. I still am, but I have learned spray tan's best friend. If you can't spray tan your face due to allergies, just get glow drops. But my current situation that I'm playing with is just eating a lot of carrots. Like, eat like 3 of them a day, and you start to develop more of an orange color. See, I'm actually like low-key turning orange. I don't know if you can see it. I would rather look like an Oompa Loompa than pale Willy Wonka. Okay, so that's my number one tip. Is not my number one tip. That's my first tip. Also, like, you're in high school, so I feel like you're old enough to be like, we wouldn't tell a 3rd or 4th grader, go out and get a spray tan to get ahead in life. But high school, you can spray tan. Second thing I would have told myself, hair is so important. Like, literally, if you need to save up to keep your hair together, you can wear no makeup, you can wear an ugly outfit. Usually pick one or the other. Like, wear an ugly outfit, have your hair and makeup done, the outfit is something like an art piece, and like, you're still hot. Take the makeup off, wear a good outfit, have your hair done, it's still a good situation. But if your hair isn't there, forget it. Work hard on that hair. Little pop of highlights, keratin if you need to smoothen it. Hold on, let me show you. If any parents are watching and they're like, oh, this girl is ridiculous, let me just put all of this to rest. Watch this. Girl, you can't tell me that hair isn't effective. Bye. Okay, tip number 3. Third tip would have been, Madison, zip patches. You know, these weren't around like 10 to 15 years ago. We are blessed to be living in a world with these things. If you have a spray tan and you're worried about it pulling your spray tan off, unscented Epsom salt. Take that, mix it in hot water, put it on your face, lean over, and let it pull everything to the surface. Then pop one of these on after your spray tan fades. But like, if you just do that regularly, it should surface it and get rid of it. So anyways, great stuff. 10 out of 10 recommend. Last part of this, I'm not gonna get too crazy. I'm not gonna be like, oh, this, that. I'm not even saying wear hair extensions. Like, just have your hair better than like just waking up in the morning and throwing a bun. Like look good. You know what I'm saying? Like, feel confident. Because anytime you look good, you get a little more confident, like subconsciously. And it just, I don't know, people naturally, okay, let me just get statistic with y'all. I know that's a big word, but basically let me get like scientific with you guys. People will stare at a pretty sunset over a blank sky any day. So like, that like works in people's brains, even if they don't want to admit it. Like, in the back of their head, something in the back of their head is like attracted to people who have it together. So use that, because you might have more people like looking to make friends with you. Not that they're not trying to, but like, I don't know, you're more of a magnet. As I'm filming this, I'm realizing the hair extensions don't even match, but they're better than nothing. So that's just an example. Like, you don't have to be perfect, but like, tip number 4, I would have literally handed myself a big old thing of YouTube tutorials on makeup. It doesn't have to be like a full face of makeup, but just like a simple, like, just little things, like whether it's high school, I would assume that everyone can wear mascara in high school. Pop a little bit of that on, pick a good lip gloss, lip liner, liner, get a natural lip liner, line your lips so you have lips. I don't know, if you do just a few things and a little blush, call it a day. I mean, I said start with the spray tan. Honestly, I have friends that don't even wear foundation if they're spray tan. Like that's a power move. Now that subconsciously people are seeing you as like, okay, cool, like you have it a little together, now you can crack the stupid jokes and get away with a lot more. Don't be too weird. Like, feel it out. Listen, just because you change one or two things and improve yourself in one or two ways doesn't mean you have the whole world in your hands to be too goofy and then end up being like getting like self-embarrassment. You might not realize it's embarrassing at the time either, and then you might look back and be like, I wasn't really ready. I wasn't really ready to do that much, you know? Honestly, even the prettiest people sometimes will do things that are stupid and can't get away with it. So just know your limits. So now that you're not pale and pasty and you have good hair, now it's time to go make friends. This is tip number 5. I would have told me, but highly recommend is like, if you see someone near you, pull a lip gloss out of their bag. You can be like,
oh my gosh, wait, is that a Summer Fridays? Yeah. What scent is that? I literally was going to Sephora this afternoon to go get some. Oh, this is the sugar cookie. Wait, I haven't tried that. Is it good? It's my favorite scent. Wait, really? Yeah. Do you have any other top products that you use from Sephora that I should be looking into? Yeah, definitely. You have Sol de Janeiro's, right? I have 40. I was debating between 62 and 48. Go for 62 first. It's so good.
so like you could just roll it and then be like,
No way, what grade are you in? What's your schedule? What clubs are you in? Do you play any sport? I have a group of friends. We're not that big, but we're looking for more people to sit with at lunch. Do y'all want to come sit by us?
it's like, seriously, just keep it going. And the conversation will just flow. Tip number 6, do not be mean to anyone. It's not worth it. As much as you might be like mean to the loser, you're gonna be the one to look like a loser. So don't do it. Like, don't do it for your own sake. Second of all, it's just mean. It's like making people feel bad is loser energy. Don't do that. Also, the people who you're looking down at now, they don't have it together yet. Who's to say they won't in 4 years from now? Who's to say they won't in 10 years from now? You could have like the most like unusual people be the ones to become celebrities in the future. And then you look like the loser. So don't screw it up. Be nice to everyone. Don't be talking behind people's backs either, because that's literally going to get you in so much trouble. As much as you think it's going to be like, shh, there's always going to be a situation where there's drama in the friend group and then everything comes back around. So like, don't talk bad about it. You can talk about literally anything. And if you need to go quiet and just stare at your food and eat while you're sitting with your friends, do it. Because crap talking people is like, no. Loser energy, okay? Loser energy. And then if you meet anyone and they just seem sheltered, but they're like interested in like breaking out of that, just give them advice. They may not be able to act on the advice. You may not see them show up the next day with perfect hair and spray tans because they may not have the resources, but just give them advice, culture them a little, so that way when they like break Amish, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like, you're basically doing a little bit of charity work if they're interested. If they're not interested, that's on them. I'm gonna get to that at the very end. That's gonna be my very last piece of advice that I would have given myself. Not that I ever had an issue with my last piece of advice, but I'm gonna give it to all y'all because a lot of kids need this advice. But quite honestly, the people who watch this video, I don't think y'all are gonna make it through this video, the ones who actually need this advice. And if you do, please take the advice. I don't mean the advice to like, I say don't be mean, but also like you can like help people. You can like constructive criticize and be like, listen, I say this out of love. That's what I'm gonna do at the very end, and it's gonna catch y'all all off guard. If y'all haven't yet, make sure you guys drop a subscribe so you don't miss these videos in the future. Also give this video a big thumbs up if any of this advice so far has been somewhat helpful. Let me know in the comments if you... Let me know in the comments if you hate this advice so far. But again, this is advice I would give to myself. Take it or leave it. Number 7, here we go. No one has a frontal lobe yet, and everyone is still trying to figure out their beliefs on the world and who they are. So someone might be talking to you about something controversial, like out loud. They may be trying to figure it out for themselves, but it may come off as just like they're confident in a conversation about their beliefs. Are they really their beliefs yet, or are they just things that they're hearing from friends, family, random people, the television, social media? I can tell you that a lot of people I went to school with had beliefs in their freshman year, total opposite beliefs. Now, when I was a freshman, I would have gotten canceled for some of the stuff that I believed and like how I went about it. But I grew and I learned, and yeah, your frontal lobe's gonna develop and you are gonna be older. Like, everyone will be. So don't be like blocking people out of your life because they have an opinion different than yours. Like, understand that everyone's still trying to like figure it out, and their opinion can change. Yours can too. Number 8, you're at a new school. This is your opportunity to kind of step out in your comfort zone. If you were shy at your old school, no one at this new school knows you as the shy kid. Maybe a few do, but most people don't. Especially if you use some of those tips in the beginning and you like do a little bit of a makeover over the summer and show up like slaying freshman year. People are gonna be like, oh, okay, new her. Anyways, so like step out of the box a little bit, talk to people, and what's the worst that can happen? Like, oh, she's a little weird? Okay. People still say the same thing about me, but weird made me a lot of money this past couple of years, so I wouldn't say it's the worst thing in the world. We're on number 9. Make friends with upperclassmen. Like, it's so smart. Use all the skills that I talked about a few tips ago. Find common interests, gas them up. You're not gonna be mad at that. If you're like, oh my gosh, your hair looks so good, girl. Try to not sound sarcastic. You don't want to compliment someone with bad hair, telling them their hair looks good, and then they're gonna think that you're just like trolling them and they're gonna hate you. So don't do that. Gas them up, and then, oh, I have Professor so-and-so. Do you or any of your friends, like, did any of y'all have them last year? Because I'm a little nervous. I've heard bad things about this class. Do you happen to have any old study guides? Like, all of that is so helpful. You might get cheat sheets to test, flashcards. They may have a lot of different resources for you that they're not going to need, so make friends with them, and they'll give you all the tips and tricks on how to survive high school. Oh my gosh, number 10 is a big one. Teachers aren't always right, and parents and teachers might hate me for saying this, but I wish I would have told myself this as a freshman. Teachers are normal humans. They may be older than you. It may be a little intimidating that they're older than you, but sometimes they think on your level. Whether they want to admit it or not, like, they're not all that. They're really not all that. And at the end of the day, they're working for your parents to teach you. Like, they're not your parents. You're the customer, essentially. So I just think that's an interesting thing. But what sucks is you're basically like this, because you can't really do anything about it. But what you can do, hold your head up high and really reach for your goals to be very successful, unless you're going to be a teacher. But at that point, if you're going to be a teacher, then you probably don't like really dislike the teachers, any teacher. Or you're either going to be a teacher and be better than the bad teachers if you're going into teaching, or if you're not, if that's not your plan, literally teaching's not for you, and like, that's a problem. Like, teachers need to be people who love kids, because people who don't love kids, being teachers is the that's the worst thing ever. Like, that is horrifying. Two, if you're not going to be a teacher, work to be more successful than your teachers, so that you can literally be like, all that bullying you put me through, but I came out on top, and I'm more successful than you. Oh my gosh, that was low-key like a poem. That was like low-key a poem. Yeah, be better than your teachers, and it's really satisfying when, just the mean ones. I mean, technically, if you're being better than all of your mean teachers, you're probably better than most teachers, but have the excitement looking at your mean teachers after you win at life. So work really hard. Work really hard. Brings me to my next point. I wish I would have given myself that advice, because there were times when teachers would put me through stuff for absolutely no reason, just because, honestly, I think it all goes back to step 1, because pretty privilege, I didn't have that, and I don't know. I don't know if I would have been treated different had I been a little prettier by some of these younger teachers. They like to pick their least favorites and go at them all the time. So I wish someone would have given me that perspective, because at least I could have been confident in saying, I'm going to be better than you one day. Not actually saying it to their face, but just knowing that. Anyways, tip number 11. Do not close your lunch group to a small group. That's so stupid. As a freshman, like, to like exclude people and be like, it only should be us. Like, that's so dumb. Get a big group. In fact, even better, find multiple groups, make friends with a few of them, and that way if one group is having drama, jump to the other group. Like, have a bunch of different groups, and that way you're always gonna have somewhere to sit, you're always gonna have friends to talk to. Yeah, that one was short. Number 12, if your friend group isn't trying to do stuff on weekends, find a new friend group. Because like the whole point is to be able to have friends after high school that you meet up with a couple times a year. And as soon as I saw that that wasn't where I was going with the groups that I was bouncing around with, I was kind of in the groups where everyone was very unique in their own ways. And it was kind of like, there weren't that many common interests. It was kind of like an overlapping group of random people rather than like a big group with like a lot of common interests who like love to do things on weekends. So as soon as I saw the writing on the wall, I left. I have no regrets over how I went about that. And honestly, some of you guys may be in that exact same position too. If you are like ahead of the curve, if your interest is AI, like that's up and coming. Like it's gonna be cool. You might be a weirdo right now though, and you may like not be the best candidate to, hopefully at this point there's different like programs and stuff for that, but like if you really don't fit in, sometimes doing a different system isn't the worst thing in the world. Like for me, it was where I thrived. Like I wouldn't have had any of this advice had I not switched to homeschool, because then I got more time to be on my phone, watch YouTubers, and get the advice that I have and be able to play with social media and experience the advantages you have when you have charisma and you put yourself together, practice networking and stuff. Like you learn a lot of different skills when you're not submerged in the jungle of high school. So I don't know, to each his own, but that's a huge tip, is like make sure your group that you're with is gonna be like a long-term group, because that's one of the biggest perks of actually being in a school system, is the social life. You basically do school 3 to 4 hours on your computer a day with no homework if you don't do that system. So social life is very important with being in school. Some of these, by the way, like I have never thrown my morals away. I would have still given myself that advice, just to like reiterate that. I'm not saying everything in this video were things that I didn't do or needed improvement on. These are just like tips. Had I written a rule book, I would have given myself these tips. So that's it. Number 13, hold your morals. Everything I said previously, there's no need to adapt by throwing your morals out the windows. You can literally pick up different interests, you can change your appearance a little bit, but to say things that are out of character and to start practicing things that you were not raised on and that you've always said would never be a thing, yeah, don't do that. To try to say rude things to people, to try to look cool, again, like that's not the move either. Doing things and saying things that are against your character is not worth it when it comes to fitting in. If you can't say something nice, don't say it at all, because talking behind people's backs can get you in trouble. Don't do it. Final tip, don't be hissing at people in the hallways. It's embarrassing. Also, stop glamorizing the litter boxes in the bathrooms, because if you're one of those people advocating for that, I hate to say it. Actually, I don't hate to say it. You're gonna be a loser. Like, you're gonna be so unique, so unique that no one's gonna be interested in being your friend. Okay, I'm giving you the advice. Again, this wasn't something I practiced. In today's world though, I feel like it's an up-and-coming thing where every school has a few kids who they're going through a 10th life crisis and they decide to become a cat. Don't do it. That's my advice. Just don't do it. The point of this video is to help give advice on how to have potential to make the most friends. That's not gonna work. We need to put a stop to pushing super uniqueness, because it is screwing people over. They're becoming loners and they eventually end up depressed and anxious with all these problems because they're not normal and they don't fit in. And as much as we can hype them up for not fitting in, no one likes not fitting in. It's a little stressful. I don't fit in. I love who I am, but not fitting in, regardless of your situation, is never the life of flowers and daisies. Everyone wants a big social life. So, I guess if you're an introvert and you find happiness being alone in your room all the time, that's fine, but I don't know. I don't think as humans we're made for that. I know a lot of people end up in that situation in today's time. This video is for extroverts, people who want friends. That's my advice. Don't be the weirdo who's wearing cat ears and a tail down the hallway. It's not cute. It's weird. You're not gonna have normal friends. People are gonna take that to their graves. Oh, remember Sam? Identified as a kitten, wore cat ears, peed in the litter box in the bathroom? There should not be any litter boxes in the bathrooms. The fact that that's encouraged is so freaking sad. Like, we are... I can't even believe that I have to address this in a video, but we're in 2024 and we've really made it to this point. If kids are watching and y'all haven't like experienced that that's a real thing yet, I just want you to know in the world today, if you believe in Jesus, everyone should be praying because we are at a point where this is actually happening in some places. So pray for all of those places. Pray for all the kids in those places who think that it's normal. It's not normal. It'll never be normal. It might be glamorized, but it'll never be mainstream. Putting lip gloss on is mainstream. Wearing cat ears, and okay, well, there was this trend with cute cat ears, but it was more like bedazzled cat ears. You weren't identifying as a cat. There was none of that. It was more just for the fashion statement. It was these little wires, and it was, but that's over with. But it was like, my outro didn't save. No. Okay, well, anyways, I hope that I helped some of you guys out when it comes to starting high school. I don't know, maybe there's middle schoolers watching this and they're like taking notes and like it'll come so naturally to them when they get to their freshman year or even 8th grade. You know, where I live, 8th grade's in high school. Take some of these tips. And of course, as always, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss my videos in the future. Let me know what kind of video you want to see from me next. Also, leave a question of the video in the comments below so that we can have some fun questions on the next one. And check out all of my shorts. I'm going to be plugging my other platforms in just a second on my InSlate. And I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Hasta la vista, girlies.